Mikhail Tal, November 9, 1936, June 28, 1992, was a Soviet and Latvian chess player and the 8th world chess champion. He is considered a creative genius and is widely regarded as one of the most influential players in chess history. Tal played in an attacking and daring combinatorial style. His play was known above all for improvisation and unpredictability. Vladislav Zubak said of him, "Every game for him was as inimitable and invaluable as a poem. His nickname was Misha, a diminutive for Mikhail, and he earned the nickname the Magician from Riga." Tal died on June 28, 1992, in Moscow, Russia. The Mikhail Tal Memorial Chess Tournament has been held in Moscow annually since 2006. Boris Gulko, Russian, born February 9, 1947, is a Soviet-American Grandmaster in chess. Notably, he is the only person to win both the Soviet Chess Championship and the U.S. Chess Championship. Boris Gulko was the Soviet chess champion in 1977 and the American champion in 1994 and again in 1999. He is the only player in history to win both of these national titles. Gulko also defeated Garry Kasparov 3 times, while losing just once with 4 draws, including a 2001 rapid game. One of the victories even came in 1990, while Kasparov was world champion. Mikhail Tal, playing as white, versus Paul Morphy, playing as black. Exhibition game 1969, St. Louis, USA. Spectacular game with a beautiful checkmate with both rooks working together. You don't see something like this every day. The first moves are the same as our previous chapter, Mikhail Tal Alexander Koblenz. Gulko goes for the Scheveningen variation. 5. E6 is a characteristic move in the Scheveningen variation of the Sicilian defense, establishing a small center. It reinforces black's control over d5 while preparing to develop the dark squared bishop to e7. Tal wastes no time and starts a pawn storm with f4, aiming to quickly mobilize his forces for a kingside attack. Taking the c6 with knight would be an inaccuracy, because white would simply give up his central knight. Tal reinforces his knight and is another step closer to castling queenside. Gulko prepares to bring his king out of the center by castling kingside. Tal prepares for castling queenside while placing his queen on a flexible square. A prophylactic move, stopping any potential threats like bishop b5, knight b5. Also, a b5 can be played sooner or later. Tal castles his king. The d1 rook now joins the game by controlling the d file. g4. Good move. Tal advances his g pawn, threatening to push to g5 and disrupt the knight's position. Gulko gets rid of Tal's central knight. This looks very scary for Tal. His following moves must be very accurate. Gulko threatens to take the d for bishop and take the g for pawn, skewering the queen and rook. There's only one way to avoid all white's problems. Tal simplifies the center, hitting the knight and temporarily clearing the bishop from attack. Gulko recaptures, again threatening to take Tal's two hanging pieces. The only move, pinning the pawn and threatening to take it. Blunder. Bishop d6 was best. Gulko got too greedy here. This allows Tal to win material. Explained in the variation below. Blunder. Knight d5 was best. Tal misses the knight d5 idea. He instead attacks the knight. Note, white is still slightly better, but nd5 would have been pretty much gi. Inaccuracy. Queen c6 was best. Gulko unpins his queen. Tal's d4 bishop is now hanging, but Gulko's knight is hanging. So we get a trade. Stockfish prefers that Gulko would have kept his queen on the c file with queen c6. Trading pieces of the board. Tal sees the queen g5, check, trap, so he saves his knight, and threatens to fork the rook and king. Note, knight b1 or knight e2, lose same queen g5, check, trap. Now, Tal has to be careful, because Gulko is threatening bishop g5, check, which is completely winning for black. Tal pins Gulko's bishop and threatens checkmate. If knight c7 check, forking, it is a blunder, but it ignores black's main threat, kf8 moving out of check, but still threatening bishop g5 check. There isn't a piece that can protect Gulko's bishop, so he has to maneuver his queen to d8 by checking Tal's king. Now he can go to the d8 square to protect his bishop. Gulko is up 2 pawns, but his king is completely unsafe, and all his pieces are playing a defensive role on the back rank. Gulko's position will not hold much longer. Currently, Tal's bishop is hanging, so he simply protects it with rook g1. Bishop h5 or queen take g7 were good choices too. Bad move opens up the h5e8 diagonal. Bishop h5 check. This ends the game immediately because of the following brilliant knockout move. Tal sacrifices the queen and the rook at the same time. This is forced checkmate. Gulko grabs the queen. Keeping the rook protected. A double check. Bringing in the final piece to join the attack. White wins. Here, Gulko resigned because the checkmate in 2 is unstoppable. Queen d6. Rook e8, check. Queen f8. Rook e take f8 checkmate, a beautiful checkmate with both rooks working together. You don't see something like this every day.
Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.